Hey first grade, it's time for math routines with Miss Doherty. Go grab your YouTube workbook and be ready to turn to the page number listed on the screen. Also grab something to write with. Hey first grade, I can't wait to do math with you today. Don't forget to take out your YouTube workbook and turn to page Thursday, May 14th, 2020. If you need to hit pause to go grab your workbook and something to write with, go do that now. Once you're on Thursday, May 14th, you can turn 2 pages to where it says Math with Miss Doherty. I set up my page for our counting patterns for today, and you can do the same now if you'd like. Again, if you need a few minutes to go grab your workbook and your pencil, go do that now. If not, let's get started. The first thing we're going to work on is counting patterns. The way you can set up your paper is drawing 4 blank lines, just like I have here, with commas in between. That way, for our 3 activities this morning with counting patterns, you can figure out what comes next in the pattern. Set up your paper to look like mine. All right, let's get started. Today's counting patterns, we're going to be counting by 5s. We know the counting by 5s pattern. If we just say it out loud starting at 0, it goes 0, 5, 10, keep going, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Exactly, you know this one. So that pattern just continues into the 100s, the 200s, the 300s, and beyond, and it just keeps going and going. So we'll use that familiar pattern today to fill in what's next in my counting patterns. The first one says 55, 60. What comes next, counting by 5s? Fill it in on your YouTube workbook page. Get to work. All right, let's see if you're right. 55, 60, count with me. 65, 70, good. 75, and 80. Nice job remembering you're counting by 5s. Now we're gonna make it a little more challenging and move into some hundreds. This starts with which number? Good, 135. What comes next? Good, 140. Now fill in the missing 4 numbers in my counting by 5s pattern. Go. All right, let's see if you're right. 135, 140. What comes next? That's right, 145. 135, 140, 145. Exactly, 150. Next is? You got it, 155. And last? 160. That makes sense because the counting by 5s pattern goes 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. All right, last one. I made it a little more challenging. Now we're in the 500s. But remember, if you can count by 5s, it doesn't matter what the hundreds say. What's the first number in my counting pattern? Good, 560. Next is 565. Fill in the next 4 numbers in your YouTube workbook. Go. All right, let's count it together and see if you're right. 560, count with me. 565. Next is 570, good. Next is 575, good. Next, 580, good. And last is 585. Maybe you realized you could even use some numbers from this first pattern to help you fill in the one at the bottom. 65, 65, 70, 70, 75, 75, 80, 80. Because the counting by fives pattern just repeats over and over, regardless of where you are in the hundreds. Our next challenge is missing part in total. Today, again, we're working with bar models, and something's going to be missing. It'll be your job to figure it out. Let's take a look at my first bar model. I see 5, question mark, and 19. Copy this down in your YouTube workbook. And I want you to think, am I missing a total or am I missing a part? And how do you know? Exactly. We know the whole thing, the entire value of this bar is 19. So that means 19 is my what? Exactly, my total. So 5 is a part and the question mark is a missing part. Exactly. Get to work finding my missing part. One way, of course, to think of it is 5 plus some other small number makes a total of 19. But then I know my fact families that I can move around parts and totals, and I could also solve this way. My total 19 minus my part 5 equals my missing part. I wonder how you chose to solve. Make sure you put it in your YouTube notebook so you can show your teachers during your conferences. So what is my missing part? If you got 14, give me a high five. Psh, nice job, first grade. One more for you today. Again, it's a bar model. Something's missing. Let's take a peek. I have 7, 15, and question mark. Copy this down in your YouTube workbook. While you're copying it down, think about what's missing, a part or a total? I agree, we're missing a total. We know one part is 7 and one part is 15, but we're missing the value of those two numbers together. See if you can find my missing total. Get to work. Two number sentences we could use to help ourselves find a missing total is, of course, gluing the parts together with a plus sign, or we could think of it as a missing total problem. Total, don't know, minus 15 equals 7. What is that big missing total? If you got 22, give yourself a pat on the back. Nice job. Now we're going to go with an ordering numbers problem. This one is about first grade again. How exciting. First grade was earning leadership points and earned the following. I see UT scored how many leadership points? That's right, 905. What a week. Georgetown scored how many? That's right, 795. BU scored how many? Good, 599. And Bucknell scored how many leadership points? Good, 759. Our challenge for today, write these scores in order from lowest to highest. If you want, you can set up your paper on your YouTube workbook, just like I did in mine. I wrote 4 lines and said low with an arrow to high. That's one way to help you stay organized. Set up your paper and start solving. Put these scores for first grade in order, from the lowest up to the highest. We know smart scholars always check the hundreds first. That way sometimes you can find the lowest or highest number just by looking at the hundreds. When I look at the digits in the hundreds place for these 4 scores, who has the highest number of hundreds? Exactly, UT. And who has the lowest number of hundreds? Exactly, BU. But what about Georgetown and Bucknell? Same number of hundreds. Maybe they tied? Oh, you're right. We need to check the tens. Oopsie. Now we want to think about who has more tens and who has less tens, or who has a higher value in the tens place and who has a lower value in the tens place. Exactly. We know Bucknell only has 5 tens. How many does Georgetown have? That's right, 9. 9 is definitely a higher value than 5. So there's our scores in order. Way to go, UT. What a week. Now I have a word problem for you. We're going to read this story together, and then I want to see if, for starters, you can write a number sentence to match my story in your YouTube workbook. Here we go. It says, Lisa is 8 years old. She is 4 years older than her sister, Tina. How old is Tina? Write a number sentence. These age problems can be a little bit tricky. Let's read it one more time. Lisa is 8 years old. She is 4 years older than her sister, Tina. So already I'm thinking, Lisa is older than Tina. So is Tina her little sister or her big sister? Exactly. So see if you can use that information to help you write your number sentence. Lisa is older than her sister Tina. Let's see if your number sentence looks a little like mine. I wrote down some labels to help me stay organized. It said Lisa is 8 years old, so I put 8, and then I noted that Lisa is older. It said she's older by 4 years, so I know Tina's going to be a smaller age, so I wrote -4. She's 4 years older than her little sister, so she's older by 4. So I took away 4 to see what's that small number that's Tina's age. And then of course equals a question mark. We don't know. Tina's younger, but how old is she? See if you can figure it out. I realized I was missing a small part. Nice job if you got 4. Now try to write a complete sentence to answer the question. How old is Tina? Nice job using my question on the screen to help you spell Tina correctly. We want to answer write words from the questions correctly if we can just copy them down. Nice job. If you wrote Tina is 4 years old and have a period at the end and a capital to begin, nice job. And now, of course, it's time for guess the winning number. Clue number 1. I am an even number. An even number. What digits do even numbers have in the ones place again? I always forget this. A 0, a 2, what else? That's right, a 4, 6, or 8. Thanks, first grade. Okay, so even number. All my digits are the same. Oh, so maybe it's like 222 or 444? Any guesses? Maybe. Clue number 3. I am less than 50. Oh, okay, so it's smaller than the guesses that we had already. Less than 50. Digits are the same. Any guesses now? Good thought. Clue number 4. I have 4 tens. Less than 50 with 4 tens. The digits are the same. What could this winning number be? 22? No, that doesn't have 4 tens. What's your guess? Let's see if you're right. If you got 44, give yourself a big pat on the back. The winning number for today is 44. Thanks for doing math with me, first grade. I'll see you next time.